For this example, we're trying to plot the graph of y equals a third x cubed for the given domain of -3 to 3. Now you can create the table of values, then use these to plot the graph. Now what we mean by creating the table is we actually put in the values of x, which are from -3 to 3, which comes from this over here, and then we calculate y by substituting each of the values of x into the equation. Now we can also do this on the calculator if we chose by going to statistics and then by mlist1 entering all the values of x from -3 to 3, and then in list 2 what we can do is down here for calc section or calculate section we can actually enter in the formula a third times list 1, which is x, our x value, to the power of 3. And then we can work out our table values for y straight away. And I've got these in decimal form, which might be a little bit easier to estimate on a graph. Now from there also we can also plot this using this area. So I'm clicking on set graph and setting. If we choose an XY line graph, and our X list is our list 1, our Y list is our list 2, that's all okay. We set that and then sketch the graph, and you see it will sketch that graph. Now that is different to what they show us in the book over here, only because their scale for the X and Y axis is slightly different. On our calculator, you notice here that the scale for the X axis is a little bit wider, where the Y axis is more condensed. Now we can play around with that to make it look as they do in the textbook, but as long as we can sketch this graph and translate this onto paper, then we're okay. And then we can adjust it by adjusting through the view window, adjusting the values of the x minimum and maximum. What we also can do with the graph is do an analysis and trace, and this will give us points along the graph as we have got in the table. So at the x coordinate of -3, which is our end point of the graph, the y coordinate is -9, and we can trace that along with your calculator all the way to the other end point at 3. X equals 3 and y equals 9. Another way I can graph this equation using the calculator is if I go back to the main menu and type in my equation, I can also bring up the graph feature here, and by highlighting the equation and then dragging into the graph area, I get that same graph as I did before. Now this is not showing me my endpoints, and it's not restricting it to the domain of -3 to 3, but I can just change that by, in the view window, I can say, okay, my x-min is -3, and my maximum is 3, and I'll click OK there. If I wanted to know the value of the y value of my endpoints, in other words, when x is -3, what's my y value? Again, under analysis and gsol, I can do a y calc. If I do y calc when x is 3, that will give me a value and flash it up on the calculator that when x equals 3, y equals 9. And I can do that for the other end. Hopefully that helps you.